What's going on with y'all? We got a special guest in the building. Wanted to come through, talk about a few things. How you feeling?
I'm blessed, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm alive.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. So, what's going on? I know yesterday you wanted to come on the show, talk about a few things.
Yeah, just had a little technical problems and just want to kind of touch on a couple things that that I saw yesterday as far as the topics that you had submitted. Don't want to expound too much. Just had some thoughts on it. So yeah, it's interesting. So whichever one of the four you want to start, hey, let's go ahead and rock it.
All right, cool. Okay, we can start on the Dr. Fauci. How you feel about that?
Wow. I think this is kind of the fallout from the COVID epidemic. I think they're finding out a lot of things that were taken for granted at the time have been misconstrued, and there was a lot of misinformation. Um, I don't think this is going to be end well for him. He pled the fifth, and the thing is, a lot of people think, well, if you plead the fifth, that somehow absolved you of having to answer. With he may face contempt charges for that. So I think that as far as what he said and what he did and all the facts have yet to come out yet. But I think him up there testifying was an effort to get to the truth about some things and things like that. But him pleading the fifth, it's common. It's a legal practice. He's entitled to do it in terms of his due process. But I think this a story that's going to go a lot deeper than what we realize. I think a lot of things are going to come out, so we just have to be patient and wait for everything to come to fruition before we really make a decision.
Okay, okay. All right. So, what about the Texas freezing 1,800 AI data center projects to protect the power grid?
Well, the thing is, the power grid and that kind of infrastructure, as far as the U.S. and especially me being in Texas, is because I know, especially during the wintertime, we have a lot of problems out of the grid. It needs to be upgraded and fortified anyway. So it needs to be done because the reality about data centers is this. I worked at one when I was 25, no, 23. So I know how they operate. I know they are noisy. They do demand a lot of water because they have to have redundancy in their cooling systems and glycol. So it's a lot of strain on the water system. But you have to allow for that if you're going to use AI. You're going to have to allow for the infrastructure if you're going to use the internet. And we're such a heavy data usage society. You got to have the infrastructure. So what I propose is regulations as far as where data centers can be built. There should be environmental protections in there. In terms of just people whining and complaining about it, and actually data centers can actually benefit communities they're in because they can lower electricity rates. Because most data centers, at least the one I was involved in, and all those that I know of, they actually sell surplus energy back to the electric companies. So if you can leverage that, where it can actually cause a reduction in the electrical cost, then that's another benefit. But I do understand the environmental implications. I just think they can be afforded in a certain way that would be beneficial because you're not going to be able to use AI or the internet with the kind of strain that we have on it in terms of bandwidth. It's not an unlimited resources, but if you don't have those data centers and the infrastructure to facilitate what you want to do, you're going to lose. And what you don't want is data centers being outsourced to foreign countries because not only is it an economic loss, it could be a possible security loss as well. So I understand the environmental implications, but that can be afforded and compromised and dealt with to make it to where, hey, we still have our data centers, but we can still take care of the environment as much as we can. It just kills me. A lot of these people that are whining about the environment are the type that'll drive their huge SUV 20 miles to get a case of bottled water and things that don't break down. So, I think a lot of it is because Elon Musk is trying to put the data center in my hometown of Memphis. Of course, those idiots are fighting that for some reason, and data centers have been vilified. So with that, what you have is just bias. And people don't understand how data centers work. They just take for granted they can pick up their iPhone and get on TikTok, and there's nothing behind it. It's just magic. And until people educate themselves, we're still gonna have this ignorance and fight back and forth. So we'll see. You there? No, I think he froze up.
Yo, George.
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, man. We had to bring it. We had to.
Oh, okay.
Something was going up, man. So, yeah, what you were saying about the data centers?
Man, I was just saying, I think they're necessary. They're going to be needed. And people kind of have to understand, if you want to continue to use, not just AI applications, but any application that's going to rely on data and bandwidth. This is, you can view it as a necessary evil if you want to. Now, in terms of the environmental aspect of it, I do understand that to a certain degree, but I mean, yeah, it's going to be a price for progress. And if there can be things put in place as far as shoring up environmental concessions. There's also not being levied in the reduction in energy costs, because oftentimes those data centers, the surplus power they generate is often sold back to the municipality's electric company. That could result in less strain on their processing and possibly lower costs for residents. So I think people are just coming in with a little bit of Trump derangement syndrome, because data centers are so associated with Trump and Elon Musk. It's just sort of a lunatic fringe with it. So I think if people become more informed and study it more, hopefully things will get better.
Okay, then what I was gonna say, the last one. Okay, I really wanted to touch on this one with you. I know you're gonna have a whole lot to say, but what about um, what about the situation that happened to the young lady in Memphis, the hanging.
Which
She
one?
was found hanging from a tree.
They went in Mississippi. What I
Mississippi.
heard was
I'm
that,
sorry,
yeah,
Mississippi. I'm
it's all
sorry.
right. What I
It's
heard
right here.
was that, yeah, right now, my last, uh, I heard that it's basically being investigated. She was found, hanged behind an abandoned house. Here's the thing on that. It's like I've been saying, anytime something like this happens, I think people need to not jump to conclusions, not rush to anything. Let the investigation run its course. Allow for due process before we start jumping to stuff and make conspiracies. And how some of us black content creators are. Oh Lord, the clan back. They coming back to get us. We don't know anything. We don't know if she unalived herself. We don't know who did it. So until we have enough facts to really make a decision or even have a direction of where it was going, and we need to hold off on just running in. But here come Ben Crump. He finna get off the Nolan Wells thing when they go from me. Kirk dry up. He'll be right on this. So it's in Mississippi. All you gotta do is turn the corner and start pimping that race hustle. And here we go again. You know,
I'm gonna ask you for this question. I'm gonna ask you,
you chopping up real bad.
I know you real analytical with your wordplay. Do you
Right.
do you believe it's foul play? Do you believe
I
it's foul
don't.
play with this case?
I mean, we don't have enough evidence to say anything just yet. We can't say. I mean, it's like people now are so impatient and so wanting to be first on social media and just take something they heard in 5 minutes. They going live talking about it. We don't have any details. They haven't released any official evidence yet for you to say anything. Now, all these people jumping to these conclusions, talking about it's Trump fault and all that. If it turns out she unalived herself, then what you gonna say? Then you end up looking stupid. So that's why I will always live it on waiting a little bit. If evidence comes out and people want to talk about the progression of the release of the evidence and how the case is playing out, there's one thing, but it's just man, black folks, we got to stop just jumping out and just. It's too much going on for us to keep jumping on every case with an assumption without seeing it play out. Look at the Carmelo Anthony thing. I see it back then when you had people on TV, three, four, five random people talking about they saw the video and he was getting jumped and kicked and all that, and we turned out none of that was true. So we need to be more diligent and less speculative and just wait on things to play out before we start getting on there spreading stuff. You got to understand, you know, she's got a family involved, and it's got to be hard on them when they go on social media and hear all these things said, and there may be things going on that they don't know about yet. So just slow up, pump your brakes. Let's get the evidence. Let's make sure we are there for the family. I hope they got a GoFundMe out there to cover any costs that they may have incurred. This worry about supporting them right now, and then in due time, let evidence play out before we go ahead and make a judgment.
Okay, okay, all right. I agree with you. I agree with you for the most part, but I don't believe she hung herself. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest with
we
you.
yeah yeah we don't know. We don't know. We
But
don't know. I mean, we have no idea until we hear some evidence. Until we hear some context. Man, we just pissing in the wind, guessing on stuff. We just making up stuff. We playing Law and Order. We watch Law and Order for 20, 45 years, and we think everything gonna be solved in an hour, and all the evidence gonna be transparent, and we all think we amateur detectives, but most of us don't know shit. So it's like let's just wait and see what's going on. Be patient, whether she unalived herself or not. Let's not go in and start, saying stuff and being irresponsible because there's a family that still has to live in that.
right,
And so,
right, and that's what I want to say. Condolences to the family,
yeah,
though. No
condolences to
matter
the
what,
family.
because they from all the way from Kentucky, and this
Right.
happened in Mississippi. So
Right, and the thing is, I'm a person that I've experienced a very, very, very public unaliving of a close relative, and when that stuff plays out in the media, man, it tear their family up because the family can't even grieve because every time they turn around, they got people speculating on what happened, spreading untruths, and that really protracts their grieving process and makes it harder. So I hope in instances where these things happen and people don't get online and start with their little cockamamie theories and all this kind of stuff because that's affecting the family's grieving. And you can say, well, stay offline, but that's not going to happen. So I can tell you personally, especially when it's kids involved. Man, it makes it so much harder. So I wish when things happen, folks kind of shut the hell up and let things kind of go for a while.
Okay, okay, you got it, you got it.
Mhm.
But last question I want to ask you, this real like current in your, your situation, everything you doing, far as coming on platforms. I wanted to know, like, what did you mean by like you not coming on quote unquote black uh podcasts anymore? Like, what did
Never
that?
said, hold on, bro. Never said Black Card Podcast.
Okay,
Never said that. What I said was the Chitlin Circuit.
okay,
That's not the same. I did a black podcast just earlier today. I got several coming up. It's not black podcast. It's nigga podcast. I'm not
okay,
doing those. I'm no longer gonna waste my time doing a podcast with no format, no solution, just a random dude going live talking the same old rhetoric. Black podcast I would do till I'm blue till I turn blue. Yours, love your form, love what we able to accomplish. I will always do yours. Club Geneva, black podcast I would do. I'm a black man, a proud black man. I would stand up for my brothers and sisters, but them niggas, man, they can go on. I am done with it.
yeah,
Now, if you got on a bonnet and a blunt, no format, man, don't expect me to come on there. I'm not
right,
doing that. So I'm off the chitlin circuit. And what I do is, if I get a lot of invites through podcasts, I'm gonna check you out for I come on. I'm gonna prepare. I'm gonna do notes. If I come on, I'm gonna bring you my best. But I'm not bringing best to no bullshit. That's
right,
over. And we all need to do that. We got to elevate our game as content creators, as black contributors. We got to stop being in the mud with some stupid shit and thinking this gonna elevate us because we killing our own narrative. You know, we need to raise our standards as content creators because the one thing is, for a long time, we as a diaspora had a problem with not having control over the media, not having a voice. Now with podcasts, we have our own media. We can build our own networks, but we don't need to build our own shit. And I'm not gonna be a part of it. So if you got a podcast talking about something, then hey, I do it. Yours, I'm on. Many others are on, but it chilling circuit, backwoods section 8 thinking ass shit. I'm done with that. Real talk.
that's what's up. I can respect that. I just wanted to really get you to say that on camera what you meant by
Right.
that, because, but you send me all your posts, behind the scenes. So when I seen that, I was like, damn, is he gonna stop rocking with me? Stop rocking with the platform? But I knew you
No.
wasn't. I knew you was. I just wanted to talk some trash to get you to.
Yeah, I know. I know what's up, man. And I appreciate you, man, because even when we correspond off the air, even if I say something you don't agree with, you can see the other side. Not saying we always end up agreeing, but the way you do it is respecting class. So that's why I continue to do your venue, man. Thank you.
All right, I appreciate you so much. But once again, like I gave you your own section. First of all, this episode part two. You feel me?
That's
Cause
right.
I rock with your mind. I know the power you contain up here. You real. You know what I'm saying? You real dedicated to your beliefs, and I appreciate that. That's what we
Yeah.
need in the world. I feel like whether I agree with it or not, you ain't hurting nobody. So
Right. And I'm standing behind it, man. I'm actually doing stuff in the community. I'm not just a dude that just go on podcasts and just talk stuff. I'm in programs. I've had a nonprofit for 8 years. I've worked in politics. I've helped craft policy and things like that. It's not like I'm just up here ranting. I'm actually putting the work in. So I think that gives me a little bit different perspective. But before we go, uh, did you see about the story about the little boy in the skirt in the school
yeah,
uniform?
yeah, we talked about that too. We talked about.
Everything. I'm gonna go on time in on that.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, yeah. Go. I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that for real, but yeah, we talked about that too.
Here's the thing, man. I got two sons, 16, 21. Ain't no way I've ever done this shit. She has scarred that boy for life. She's ruined his life because no matter what he does in life, no matter what he does, no matter what he becomes, that's what people gonna know him for.
They trying to say it's AI though, George.
It don't matter if it's AI or not. Who released it? The mama?
Yeah, I'm one of the parents.
Yeah, yeah. They need, man. CPS need to watch them folks, man. I ain't even being hyperbolic. I'm just telling you, do something like that to your son, man. The father can't be around.
Then he got his hand on his hips though.
Yeah, I mean that boy through. Man, imagine his school life now. You did that because you want to push some agenda to make you feel good, man. If you want a little girl, man, gonna pop out another one with the other 10 you already get, man. Don't do that boy like that. Don't
Yeah,
put that on him. Like now it's on him. AI or not, people not gonna make that have that discernment. But whoever released that, man, they need their ass beat. That's wrong.
That's wrong, man. That's wrong. That's what we was talking about on the show last night. We were saying, nah, not in middle school, maybe high school, 18 or whatever.
Yeah.
But you don't
No,
even
that's
know
true.
yourself. He
He
don't even
he he,
know.
he don't even know how to be a real little boy yet. He don't even, he's at that age. He still, he should be out there playing in mud, and riding bikes, and getting in fights and doing, being a little boy, man. Look at that, man. Come on. And then you put a picture of your son out there like that, knowing it's all kind of sick folks. That boy's image probably gonna be ain't no telling what's going on.
Yeah,
So it's just people don't think. I don't. Everybody with a uterus ain't meant to be a mother. I don't know what that was. There's some sick, disgusting, reprehensible stuff, and that's wrong. So man, I don't know. You do something like that in my eyes, you need to be investigated, man. That's not normal.
yeah, that should be like what, child abuse, right?
That is. That's child exploitation and child neglect. And if I don't hear about her being investigated, I'm gonna be like, I don't know what's going on in this world. Black folks didn't do shit like this, man. We
Yeah,
don't we don't do stuff like that. Cause it's that democratic liberal stuff, man. They in turn black folks against God. They want you to endorse all this stuff, man. We never endorse this kind of shit.
yeah, right.
And look what we doing now. We talking against God. We got little boys in dresses, skirts, and think that stuff cute. No, man. Yeah, folks got to get off that democratic plantation, man. That's that liberal mess, man. That's what that is. I don't ascribe to that. I don't care if anybody get pissed off. That's where that stuff comes from. And a lack of black men in the home. And it
Facts.
ain't just
That's the
enough.
main thing right
Yeah.
there.
And it ain't just a matter of having a dude with a penis in the home. He need to be a black man, a man. Unlike what's that boy, Carmelo Anthony's daddy. We got some weak, soft
Shit, hold
ass
on,
dudes
don't be
out here
throwing
popping out.
shots.
Yeah, we got these weak, soft ass dudes. If that dude daddy need to be, he need to do something, or he to just go and get on out the way. Cause I, as a father and as a man, not even as a black man, but as a man, what the hell we doing, man? And that's all I got to say on that. I'm gonna pray for that young man. I mean, pray for his ignorant ass mama, but something need to be done. We can't do this.
We definitely can't. Well, before we get out of here, let them know where to find you, what you got coming up, and everything like that.
All right. Well, working on some programs in my role as city president with Turning Point USA. Got some meeting with some dignitaries coming up. Some programs I'm hoping to launch. Between now and the end of the year. I got my book, The Meta Papers. It's a philosophical memoir. It's on Barnes and Nobles and on Apple Books. It's called The Meta Papers: Writings for No One and Everyone by George P. Brooks. I've written several essays. You can follow everything I'm doing on my Facebook under George P. Brooks. Every the last Monday every month, I do a men's roundtable with Lonnie Middlebrooks. At the end of Monday every month, she's a great advocate for men. One of the few women, probably one of the only women I ever met that can actually do that role in a way that's really effective in terms of
Yeah.
dealing with men.
Also, hold on. I don't mean to cut you off, George. Let her, because I'm about to be a part of that book she's putting together
Right? Yeah.
about the man. So let them know about that a little bit.
Yeah, she contacted me a while back. She's doing a project where she has men, it's an anthology where she has men contribute a chapter talking about their struggles and things they go through. And I submitted mine, and we're a few short on having it come to fruition. I want people to contribute. If you're a writer, you can DM me, in fact, or DM her, Lonnie Middlebrooks, and I think it's gonna be a powerful, powerful project. I think we need more things like what she's trying to do in terms of getting men to be vulnerable and expressive in what they go through, because that's how we gonna heal. And like I said, most women can't do it, and most men can't do it. But she's brilliant at creating a space where men can heal. And if you join us on the last Monday every month, if you in there, the vibe is very good and conducive to healing. So I encourage people to support her efforts. And also, I'm just working on a bunch of other things, trying to plan public speaking tour for next year, doing my work in the conservative community, working with my nonprofit Meta Association, seeking donations for that so we can do some transitional housing. So I'm pretty busy, but I appreciate people that support my real work and don't get all hung up on things I say and look at what I really do. So I want to thank you, brother. Salute to you for supporting me and us as black men being more fraternal and hopefully we can improve our situation by doing so.
All right. Once again, I appreciate you. This is episode 2. First of all, I usually sit in the background, but I just came on camera for this one. So I appreciate you, George. Much love. Till next time. Whenever you want to do the next episode, let me know. It's all good.
All right, so I'll be in touch, and thank you everybody for tuning in, and y'all stay blessed.
All right. Appreciate
All
you.
right. All right.
Make sure like, share, and subscribe to everything we got going. We gone. Love.